Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We are rejoining Commander Armstrong here on the surface of Mars as he is about to make his ascent, hopefully to orbit. We are just going to take care of a few things here, and mostly dumping excess food and water because we're pretty heavy. So dump, 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 dump. Close that. Water, which is extraordinarily heavy, we're just going to keep what's in the lander can. So dump, 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 dump. Alright. In carbon dioxide, we will just go ahead and, I don't need this menu to dump that. We will vent all our CO2 and our waste and our wastewater. Yeah, we'll keep all the rest of that. So, our relative inclination with the station is down to 1.69 degree. I just want to check its position. Yeah, it's still a bit far behind us on the horizon, so we're going to warp a little bit. Let it get just a bit closer. I've never been able to do a single pass rendezvous ever once, no matter how hard I try. So today will obviously be nothing different, but the more that inclination we can get rid of now, the less we have to worry about it on our ascent. So I'm just doing this by the seat of my pants, but that looks pretty good. So alright, we will switch our RCS system back on and peg the throttle. All 6 engines are lit and we are on a hill. So, I should probably pull up this ladder. Retract ladder. Yes, very good. Alright, and we're going. I'm just going to work on mitigating as much of this relative inclination as I can while we try to get some altitude. Which way will I probably need to pitch? North, it would appear. But going north doesn't seem to be alleviating that. So we'll just try to focus down the 90 for the time being and see what happens. We'll try to use the RCS as little as possible because our margins are really, really close. Painfully so. So, you know, fingers crossed and stuff. We're just going to have to see what happens. So, I need to concentrate, so I'm probably going to speed through most of this, and I will pick up all of you either in orbit or on failure, whichever the case may be. Yeah, old B here. Well, this was quite a bit of a nail-biter. There's me logging some science and taking a crew report, so we got a biological sample there, and I transferred them both into the lander can. Well, really, the crew report will always be in the lander can. But I used a little too much fuel on descent. Way more than I had initially anticipated. I guess I kind of overestimated what I thought this lander was capable of and what it could do. Now, I have the 2 windows up there for the ascent stage engines because I had thought about when the thrust-to-weight ratio from the descent engines got good enough that I would deactivate the upper engines and then relight them at stage separation, but ultimately decided against it because our thrust-to-weight ratio never really gets all that good. You want to talk about structural fractions? This thing has a lot of tanks, and each tank has its own kind of dead mass based on its structure. There goes our descent stage. It will fall back to the surface and create more litter. And finally, I decide to see how much delta V I have left, because my panic was not, in fact, unwarranted. We're coming right down to the wire. And I may have botched this ascent profile by quite a bit. Now, I thought when I built this thing, I gave myself plenty of margin. The ascent stage, firing all on its own, should have had something like 4 kilometers per second at delta V. So I thought, well, you know, I can use a little bit of that to slow down the hurry and then refuel it, and that's exactly what I did. Not good enough. I did not take into account aero forces, drag, things like that might slow us down a little bit. But Armstrong is worth his weight. This man's a good pilot, so he put up with me well more than he possibly should have. And so while I spent most of this burn sweating bullets, figuring, of course, I'm going to kill him. My first Mars landing ever has to result in a dead Kerbal, because every other first that I have ever done has resulted in somebody winding up dead. We'll get his solar panels out for no good reason. He's got lots and lots of battery charge, which is something I can probably limit a little bit on second generation Mars landers. As well as life support supplies. This thing came out with about a month, and that extra weight is not entirely necessary, which is why we jettisoned all the food and the water. Well, not all of it. He's got about 2 days worth of comfortable living before he starts to get pretty hungry. But I will turn you over to old me, as these engines will run out of fuel soon. Come on. Come on! Oh god, please, please, please. Please, please, please have enough. Oh, please. Come on. Come on. Oh, you can do it. Come on, man. Come on, Armstrong. You can do it. Oh, God. Come on. Oh, God. Camera change. Orbit. 179 by 152. He's safe. Oh. Oh, boy. Okay. What can we do with 93 meters per second? Not a whole lot. Where's our ascending descending node? Looks like we're coming up on one here. Add maneuver. Let's just see how close in we can get him. We gotta kill off about a degree. And that doesn't do a whole lot for us. Shift the orbits. What is that costing us? That's 80.2. Oh boy. That puts us within 50 kilometers. I love how these numbers jump around and make it them impossible to read. 62. Alright, well that's 98.5. That's more than we have already. So we will just have to do what we can and then see about getting somebody out here to come rescue him. So, alright, 16 minutes to node. So we'll just go ahead and time warp to this. Oh, God. Thank goodness he made it. I didn't even check to see what that's going to put my periapsis at. If it's suborbital, this is a bad idea. $103. Oh boy, this is a bad idea. $133. That's outside of the atmosphere at least. Yeah, maybe I should be trying to tune for that node, because it's lower and might be easier to hit. Well, that was not the result I was looking for. Not even in the slightest. I love the decision making here by the node maker thing. Whatever. I will figure it out. $99. We're already above our limit. No. Well, that would give us something close to a good encounter. Alright, how about we just retool this. Add maneuver. One thing at a time. $151. Okay, that keeps us safe and will leave us enough fuel to hopefully do some docking. So 1 minute 21 seconds. I doubt this node will take that long. I bet you it's more in the range of seconds rather than minutes. Alright, 35. That seems good enough. Ullage. Stable ignition. Kill it. How many ignitions do we have left on this? 7? Okay. 5.1 meters per second. Yeah, we can do a lot of this on RCS, but we need to save some of that for sure. Alright, RCS off. And your panels are angled in. Fantastic. We've got like what? 2 days. 2 days, 20 hours to go get them. So let's take a quick save and go get the Artemis. Alright. So all our fuel should already be loaded into the Artemis, with the exception of just a little bit of Aerozine in our HAB module. Our crew is already ready to go. Let's make sure, yep, their life support supplies are good. I actually don't know if we need to bring this big heavy tank of food, water, and oxygen. That's just going to cost us Delta V. So we're going to... Okay. Oh, I guess I took it from that tank. Go. Out. 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 That's, I don't know. That's more fuel we have to use to impart changes. Why do we have so much excess water? Water's like the heaviest of all of them. Okay. I guess that's all we can get rid of. Make sure all these are unlocked. Food, water, oxygen, yes. Food, water, oxygen, yes. Now we should probably vent our CO2 before we get moving. Dump. dump, dump. We'll just let it smear down the side of the station or something. Okay. Now then, undock. RCS on. Cannot use SAS. This'll be fun. Pull ourselves gently away and go find our target. Where are you, Armstrong? We really need your piloting prowess. Set as target. Relative inclination .01 degrees. Intercept with Hohmann. Oh man, that is a ridiculous orbit. 310 meters per second? Are you kidding me? No. We're just going to see if we can improve that intercept there. Add maneuver 45 minutes from now. And I will spare you what turned into about an hour and a half of me tinkering with nodes, because while it seemed really easy to get this very first intercept, it turned out it was going to make my periapsis extraordinarily in the atmosphere. So I, of course, did not realize it until after I was about to make the burn, or after I did make the burn, while looking at my periapsis fall over there down at the bottom right, and then decided, oh, this was a bad idea. I don't have a whole lot of time to correct for this. So I just moved a node around, made a node to correct it, and then started plotting other nodes, which aren't really up on the screen yet. But basically reducing my orbit to that of the lander in little phases, reducing my periapsis to in the atmosphere, and then correcting a little bit after my altitude had fallen, kind of taking gentle steps down to lower my orbit, which is massively inefficient. But MechJeb was telling me that my soonest and most efficient way of intercepting the pod was in about 3 days, and that was, in my mind, a little unacceptable. So here's yet another step down burn. And yeah, and I'll just let the altitude fall a little bit, plot myself out another node, and then try very long and desperately to get something that would happen relatively soon. And after much tinkering and fidgeting with nodes and sliding them around for what seemed like an absolute eternity, 'cause this is probably the worst thing in the world to try to watch. I can't even think of things to say when stuff like this takes this long. It really did take a lot longer than I thought it would. But we'll make a, I don't know, what would be considered a large burn for this kind of maneuver. 200 some odd meters per second, but that will bring our closest approach to within a reasonable range, and then I will go through and try to touch it up with RCS as best as I can, considering I have no SAS, because there's no qualified pilot doing this. I can only assume that it's either Virginia deciding that Boris is an idiot for breaking the space station, or Boris trying to make up for breaking the space station. And finally we made an intercept burn, or a correction burn. Got us, we were about 132 meters per second relative velocity. Most of that corrected on the Artemis, but then I switched over to the pod and used its last little bit of remaining fuel to correct those last 8 or so meters per second, because it could react so much faster and impart a much more meaningful change. And here we go. Alright, let's neutralize some of this velocity. No real reason to waste all the fuel on docking. None whatsoever, actually, so I'm very sorry, historic Mars lander. You will remain parked. Alright. Yes! EVA! Can you take a EVA report? Not worth anything, doesn't matter. Take data, all 9. Turn on your RCS pack and start to head home, my friend. It was a good lander, although spuriously inadequate. Alright. Nope, wrong thruster. There we go. Really wonder what their EVA time is in these packs. Will it tell me? Glenn Armstrong. Yeah, about a day. 24 hours. Interesting. I really wonder why I'd never checked that before. Bump. Board. Armstrong is safe. Armstrong is safe. Oh, thank goodness. We have him and all of his data tucked safely aboard the Artemis. They should have absolutely no problem getting back to the station. We've got about 2 kilometers a second Delta V remaining. That's going to have to wait until next episode, because I'm out of time for the day. But thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. I do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.